Today, we're going to talk about how to approach a TOEFL IBT reading passage. Good reading techniques will give you the best chance to do well on the TOEFL reading section. It's a good idea to begin by focusing on the big picture. What topic is going to be discussed in the passage? Before you begin to read, take a look at the title and the illustration at the beginning of the passage, if there is one. Then, for the text, you can use a technique called skimming. Take a glance at the first few sentences of the first paragraph. These sentences form the introduction and usually give the reader an idea of what is to come. Then take a look at the first sentence of each of the other paragraphs. These sentences often provide information about the main point or points in each paragraph. At this stage, you should have an impression of what the main topic of the passage is, as well as an understanding of some of the key ideas to be discussed. You should also have an impression about the author's intent. Is the author explaining a phenomenon or presenting opposing points of view? What is the main purpose of the text you're reading? While you skim, pay attention to the structure or organization of the passage. You may want to take notes in the form of an outline. Here's an example. Now you're ready to carefully read the passage from beginning to end. As you read, you can fill in more of the outline, such as the specific details that support some of the key ideas. Remember to just jot down phrases. The outline or notes are only meant to help you remember what you've read. You shouldn't spend a lot of time writing. Don't worry if you don't understand everything in the passage. It's not necessary to understand every detail. What is important is that you understand the main idea being discussed. It's also important to think about why the author has included pieces of information. Is a piece of information an example of a phenomenon, a supporting detail for an argument, or perhaps the introduction of a new idea? After reading through the passage, begin to look at the questions. Once you read each question, you can go back to the passage to look in a targeted way for the information you need to answer that question. This is called scanning. For instance, if a question asks about climate in the Middle Ages, then look for those words in the passage. After you've located them, reread the phrases and sentences containing those words. You should be able to find the information you need to answer the question. Remember that as you look at each question, you'll be able to see the paragraph or paragraphs that the question refers to on one side of your computer screen. You will also be able to scroll through the entire passage. So, if you keep these things in mind, you should be able to move through all the questions for each reading passage at a reasonable pace. Just remember to answer all the questions the best you can.